figured some stuff out, or at least this is the idea that I'm kind of rattling around my brain right now, which I kind of enjoy it actually a bit more than some of the other ideas that I've been having. I was going to the gym a lot earlier today, which is also nice. I'm gonna go there and then I have to run to Costco, get some ground beef and some eggs in all likelihood. At least some ground beef, maybe a different breakfast, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, no, the idea, something that's kind of been thinking about lately, is it'd be nice to just go like camping every weekend or every other weekend or something along those lines. Even if it's just solo stuff. And then maybe I make vlogs around that type of content. I'm gonna shoot this, I don't really give a fuck right now. It's super early in the morning. But yeah, dude, it's... Because I've tried doing the... like running my own business, and when I run all the numbers all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I have to do. Like, these are the numbers. This is the amount of people that you have to get on to be able to close this amount of deals. And then I don't ever actually reach out to those said people. And maybe that's the information that I give to them. So I was talking with this guy last night, and he was telling me how he was a business analyst, and he'd basically just end up going into other companies and helping them export their data into like Excel, and then letting them know where they can improve along with hiring and training and increasing the revenue from like 10 million to 20 million dollars a year or something along those lines, and then 30, 40, 50 all the way up to 100 or 500 million, whatever the company was wanting to grow up to. And that's the work that he would do for the clients that he would work with. And we got talking a little bit around that as well too, where I told him, I was like, yeah, I've thought about doing like social media consulting or something along those lines to help other business owners, and I thought it'd be a good route for me, as I'm like, I have 8 years of experience managing social media, or at least doing social media myself. This is probably my own thing that gets in the way. Like, since I don't have the explicit, or since I don't have, let's say 250,000 followers or whatever it is, or hundreds of millions of views. Like, I do have 20,000 followers across all my accounts, which I'm entirely grateful for, along with like amassed over 6 million views across all the accounts, which I'm also entirely grateful for. And I guess when I think about it this way, and this was something that he did bring up as well, was sometimes there's hundreds of other businesses out there that need social media for their business. I had interviewed with a company a while back that did like the social media stuff as well, where they did more like paid ads, SEO type of work. And I was like, well, that's great. Like, that's fantastic that he's doing that type of, that's the type of work that he's doing, or that I'm doing. It just, when I was reading the reviews, nobody seemed to like those type of companies. And I get it that the reviews and people that leave negative, like, there's two types of people. There's people that really love the product that leave a review, and then there's people that really hate the product and leave a review. Like, there's really no in between with either of those. At least not from what I've been able to find out. Plus, dude, like, the social media stuff, like, it's great. It's also a lot, man. Like, it's a fucking lot. It's a lot of the times when I make the videos, like, as you probably know this by now, this is just my way of sharing whatever's on my mind and talking about the things that I want to talk about. I don't want to have to compromise my values or principles to be able to get the hundreds of millions of views. I'd rather just make the videos and talk about the things that I want to talk about. And if that hinders my ability to gain hundreds of millions of views, it's something that I've just come to accept at this point in time, which sucks, but it's also like, I'd rather remain true to myself than have to become somebody that I'm not, which is why going back into the sales world, because I genuinely do love it, dude. Like, I don't know what else to say other than that. Some people could be like, well, it's a waste of time, or like, why would you want to do sales? And I'm just like, for me, it's fun, dude. I just get to talk to people, and I get to make a lot of money in the process. And I just love, like, it's a constant follow-up of like, yada, 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 do this XYZ thing, and then I get paid for the said result. And I had hoped that that was going to happen with like the YouTube content, because I was like, I'd listen to what other people were telling me to do. They're like, okay, so what you want to do is you want to go out, you want to find this other video that also did popular well, and then like use your own like individual like unique twist on it, which I would do that. And I do that with like videos on certain channels that people had hundreds of millions of views on or whatever it was, and that was like the one video on their channel. And then I do that said thing, and like I kind of copy their format, but like use my own like little twist on it. And then the video would only get, and I say only because I'm playing the comparison game, which I know that I don't need to do, but like my video would then get 1,000 views, and their video would have like 1 million views or something like that. And I'm just like, well, what is it like? I'm literally following all the steps that you're telling me to follow, and my videos are getting thousands of views instead of millions of views. Like you told me that they would if I just copied what this other person was doing instead of like coming up with my own original idea. And it was just miserable, bro. Like each time that I would try, like I'd just be sad, and I didn't like it. I really didn't, because I was like, then I had to be like doing all this other, like watching all these other videos, trying to come up with ideas where like I like just being able to sit on the couch or like sit on my phone or whatever it may be, and this probably isn't the best thing, but just like being able to just be there and just like not have to think about like, oh, how can I make this into content or whatever it may be. Whereas like with sales, this is probably just me selling myself more on the sales side of things, but like with sales, I knew it's like, okay, well, I call this person, I have a conversation with them, and I close the deal, or I don't close the deal. And if I don't close the deal, then I continually just follow up with them. Whereas like with social media, it was a little bit more, I'd say, challenging, just due to the fact that with each video, there's no guarantee, at least not at this point, and this is probably due to a skill issue, that it was gonna bring in some sort of revenue. Whereas like with sales, I know that each time and each month I'm gonna get paid, regardless of like I'm just always going to get paid doing sales work. And the harder I work, the bigger the commission check is. But if I have a base, at least I'm getting paid. So that's where I want to keep doing the video content, and I'm going to keep making the videos in the ways that I do right now, like just talking face to face with you. I'd like to explore some different avenues as well moving forward. Like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, like I feel like it'd be fun to go out and like camp every weekend, because I enjoy being out in nature, and I haven't been able to go camping or even just hiking in the past like 3 months. One, because I don't have the gear because it's all snowy outside. I've done it before, dude. Like I've gone on those like winter snowy hikes, but it's like miserable. Everything gets wet. My feet are cold. It's muddy. I'm just like, I need to change and get more gear, and gear costs money. Like I've tried to do all this other stuff like for super cheap, and I've had a great, wonderful, amazing experience doing all the stuff that I have for cheap. I've just come to realize I like to be able to buy more things and spend more money, or like just have different experiences, and that's the thing that takes money. Like don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun experiences without having the money, like biking and walking, talking with strangers, hiking, making the videos. Like I loved every single aspect of it. I did. It's just when I look at, like, I'm grateful for the like progress that I have made, and this is my own thing, I guess. Like if somebody was and I was talking about this with the dude that I was talking about just a moment ago, if I was to bring this, like, everybody's gonna think that you're crazy until you're not, because he was 67, he decided to sell all of his stuff and move into an apartment and like retire. I was like, that's awesome. He's like, everybody told him that he was crazy, and it's just kind of like me as well too. Everybody was like, oh, you aren't getting enough views on your videos to like have it pay your bills or anything like that. I'm like, no, but I've made more progress than I ever could have imagined making progress with the videos that I do make, and I'm grateful for it. Like it's really something special, because like I look back at some of like one of the other channels that I have, and I look at the page, and I'd be like, oh, I got 2,500 views on this video, or I got 1,000 views on this video, or something like that. When I first started, dude, like that was never. I was never getting those types of numbers. And then even like videos on this channel as well too, like I get a couple thousand views or something like that, or a couple hundred views, and I'm like, it's pretty impressive, because that's 100 people, like that's 1,000 people. I would just get I'd compare myself to these other channels that have millions of views and hundreds of thousands of views, and I'd want that, and I still do, don't get me wrong. Like I feel like it'd be cool, but I'm also under the impression where I'm like, if I had to choose between being famous and known, or sorry, wealthy and known, or wealthy and unknown, I'd honestly choose the latter, at least for right now. Things may change later, but maybe that's the aspect that is preventing some of the videos from like popping off in the ways that I had hoped that they would. It's also the comment section and all this other stuff, dude. Like, it's a lot. Whereas like with sales, I have no problem, and there's probably some sort of like disassociation, or maybe not disassociation, some detachment that goes along with like video comments and things along those lines. Sometimes the comments are amazing and I love reading them and having the discussion, and then other comments is a little bit rude and intrusive, and I'm just like, bro, this is brutal. So I don't know, there's this thing that I want to do, and then there's this thing that I need to do. And right now I have to do more of the thing that I need to do and a little bit less of the thing that I want to do, which is a little upsetting, but it's also, I can't really change that. Like, I have to be able to pay my bills. I need to be able to be financially stable and not have to, I don't like having to rely on others for monetary compensation unless like it's a job or something along those lines. So I'm just having to find, I guess, new creative ways. Maybe not even new creative ways. I'm just having to find new avenues or paths, or even going back to what I was doing originally so that I can get paid and have an income again. Because like I said at the beginning, it's been fun doing all this stuff on my own. I'm just realizing that I could have done things just slightly different, where instead of me like filming and editing and doing everything on my own, because I only have a finite amount of hours, being able to hire somebody else to like either edit the videos for me, do the filming for me, do the scouting for me. I just like come up with the ideas, and that's what costs monetary. That's what costs money. So I have this grand vision of wanting to have like these big, really high quality videos, and I tried to do it on my own, and I did to a certain extent. And it was fun. It was. I really enjoyed it. I just know the quality can go up by me hiring others, by me using the monetary means, and that's where I say like the job comes in. Instead of me buying like, I want to say I can still buy toys and things like that, but I think I'm gonna have to buy like human capital instead, which can be a solid path, solid route. Just requires me to go back to work, which is fine. Like, I've come to accept that. So I think a lot of this last year was also just like retirement purposes. Like, I wanted to quote unquote retire early, which was fun. Now I know how to balance my life a lot better. Like, I still have time for me to do my own thing, along with time to spend with family, along with time to hang out with friends, eat at dinners, like go to parties, like go biking with others. Like, these were things that I didn't do when I was just working all the time. So it was nice being able to see like, okay, I can do other things. Like, I can ask my buddy to go biking, or I can ask a friend to go snowboarding, or I can get invited to dinner, or I can go to a family event, whatever it may be. I just feel it'd be nice to be able to travel a bit more, weekends, camping, maybe do vlogs like that or videos along those lines, podcasts as well. Like, there's so many different things that I'd love to do. And this is where I need the monetary means to do it, because if I just have a couple of decisions on a given day, or I talk with a couple of people, like, there's almost a day gone at that point in time. And then I don't have time to edit it, because I'd rather spend the next day talking to more people, or going camping, or exercise, or something along those lines. Whereas other people, they don't want to do those things. They'd rather like stay inside, edit a video, That's perfectly okay. So I'm just like, let me work with those people so that I can help them use their time. They can help me use my time, and then we can both like prosper and grow together. I just have to get back into the world. Dude, I literally left the world. You can be like, you didn't actually, but I did. Like I wasn't interacting with the world. I wasn't contributing to the world. I was just contributing to myself. There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. I believe more people need to do more of that. It's just time for me to get back, make that money back that I spent over these past 16 months. Build shit back up. Just see where things end up taking me. I was explaining this to my dad a little while ago as well too, where I let him know. He's like, you need to get a job, and I was like, yeah. I just realized and learned, like after learning about sales, is I can make the money back that I spent over this time in a matter of like 6 months to a year. And I was like, if that means that I just have to go back and bust my balls again to be able to do that, then by all means. Sales just showed me what was like possible, and I didn't see that in the content world as much as I had hoped, and maybe I will one day. Just from what I've seen from others, I know it's possible. I know it's possible. I know it's possible. I think I just rushed the process. I wanted to be up at the top of the mountain before I was ready to be up at the top of the mountain. So, just different ways of creating content, providing value, insights, knowledge. And whatever comes is what comes, and whatever goes is what goes. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. It can actually be quite simple.